Hello. Today we're going to do a quick tutorial on the iGAZE kit-UL, which is the iGAZE RE Safety Edge kit. When you receive the package, you'll receive a box similar to this with both the receiver, which is located right here. It will have a lid on it, similar like this. And then you'll receive a transmitter, which will look like that without the wires. First thing you want to do is you want to take your two covers off. Pull your transmitter out, pull your cover out, and then there will be a manual on the top. Hold it similar to this, sitting in there like that. Okay. What you want to do is you want to get the two paired together. Sorry, it's self-organized here. So if you open the manual, it kind of goes through a basic technical specifications. Notice that this is 12-24 volt AC/DC. Make sure you do not run 110 in it. You will fry that thing. You can do up to 8 devices, 8 for each relay. And if you have any particulars, you can feel free to give Transmitter Solutions a call or refer to your manual. What you'll notice next is a quick start guide. This is the most common with the UL. Since most of it's 10K, we'll go through this particular setup today. You go through a quick description of what it is, kind of just some information relative to what it is. It kind of gives you some configuration, connections. It gives you some basic details, and then if you keep going, it goes through more examples, so you can find your particular situation. If you use normally open, if you're running an 8.2 or any of the particular ones, and there's many examples in there. And then what you'll find is setting your dip switches, where and where not to mount. Frequencies will be in here. More examples. Outputs, so this would be on your receiver side, how to connect it to the operator based on your situation. Programming step by step, which we'll go through. And then, as I kind of mentioned, if you make a mistake and you'd like to start over, this is how you reset it. If you are wanting long-term low power setting, basically sends a signal every 15 seconds instead of every second. It'll go from 2 years to 5 years. If your system requires a test, there is a setup for the test over on this far side. As you can see, test 1, test 2 in common. And you can go through the particulars on that, and then basic troubleshooting. As long as you do and find yourself an example similar to your situation, make sure that the frequencies are the same and you set your dip switches correctly, you should have no problems. It's really quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up 2 safety edges on 1 transmitter. For my purposes, I made 2 little short ones, just so you get the idea. This is our non-glue version. Resistor plugs in. You buy it in the length that you want. If you get a wire kit on one end, you get your 10K, 8K, or mechanical on the other. You press it in, and there's a clip that goes on the end that snaps it in. You slide it into your rail, your safety edge is good to go. On each of those, you get 2 wires out. And what you want to do is, if you look, I'll go really close here, you'll see program test 1, program test 2. Program 1 test is the input for 1. Program test 2 is for safety edge 2. If I can move some of these wires over, you can kind of see that underneath each one it says safety 2 and then safety 1. There you go. And what you want to do is you just want to route it through the bottom here. With the cover on, there's space up here for each wire to kind of just set there. So don't feel like there's no space. There's plenty of space up there. As you can see, I didn't have any particular order, I just put the lid right on it. So just looks intimidating with this battery plugged in right there. I personally pulled the little battery cover out of the way so I had a little more room to put the wires in there. Ours come with a end which is covered. I think I have some right here. Undone. Here's one. So as you can see, they're already crimped. You don't have to worry about frayed wires. This is how every set comes if you purchase it from us. So I got a little bit of a cold here. Let's go ahead. Now that you have your 2 safety edges hooked up, what I've done here, just for demo purposes, is I'm running 12 volts in, 12 volt positive on the left, negative on the next pin over, which is your common or negative. And then what you want to do is you want to notice that there's dip switches here, and there's dip switches on your transmitter. If you look at your quick start guide, let me turn the camera. Hopefully this help makes it easier for you. You want to set your resistors if you have a 10K, since this is a particular example for that. You want to have dip switch 1 on. You want to have dip switch 2 on if you have 2 inputs. If you're running a safety edge and a photo eye, there's examples in the next pages. So what you want to do is, if you notice dip switch 1, if it to the left is on, to the right is off. So safety edge 1 you want to turn on. Number 2 is safety edge 2, you want to turn that on. Low power. In this particular instance, we're not going to use low power for demo. So you get a signal every second, so that's off. The frequencies, I'm just going to leave them as off, off. And number 6 on the particular transmitter is not used, so it can just be left off. So in this particular situation, you got on, and the rest are off. Your situation could be a little different depending on your frequency. If you have 2 businesses, one across the street from each other, and you want to have one business, a different setup, what you want to do is you want to have different frequencies for each company. And I believe it's a couple pages in, there's a reference to right here. So if you have off, off, you get this frequency. If by just moving one dip switch, it moves it to this. If you have on, off, on, you have different frequencies. So one company you'd want to run this setup, another company you want to pick something other than what you already have. Just to kind of ensure that you're not running frequencies that are too similar or possibly conflict. Not that they will, but I just like to be overly sure. You know, if I was doing channel 1, I would probably do channel 4 in the other company, just to give it a larger span between the 2. So if I was running channel 2, I'd still run 4. If I was running 3, I'd maybe run 1. just to kind of give a little bit wider spread. If you run channel 1, channel 2, you shouldn't have any issues. I just like to have a little bit bigger of a spread for my personal self. But that is on page 6 of the manual. So let's go back. To the setup we were doing. So this particular one, we're going to run off on our frequency. Since you chose off on the transmitter, what we need to do is we need to come over to the receiver, and it's set up the same way. Output 1, since it is a 10K, you turn it on. Output 2, if you want the outputs to be, since we're doing UL, you need to have them turn on because you need a 10K out. So you run normally open to your common 1, and your common 2, you're going to run normally open, 10K output. You're going to turn those both on. Your frequencies, you're going to still leave them matching. So whatever's here, you want to leave here. So off. Buzzer on your receiver, this shows as off, but for setup, before you plug into your operator, I would leave this on, just so you can hear the buzzer. It's up to you. You can leave it off if you don't mind and you want to just listen for the relays clicking. Totally up to you. Test polarity, I just leave it as off. If your system needs a test, you can turn that on. Once your frequencies are set up and your safety edge is turned on, what you want to do is you want to go through the programming. The programming, if you want to just flip through your manual, is almost at the back. It's in step C. It's on page 9. So the first thing you want to do is check that dip switch 4 and 5 of the transmitter and dip switch 3 and 4 of the receiver are set the same way. What that is your frequency, and I know I keep emphasizing that, but you'll find it a lot of people don't do that. Next thing you want to do is you want to press and keep press the programming reset button on the receiver. So what you want to do, so transmitter, receiver, so you want to do is find this red button and you want to hold it down until you hear a single beep, because what we're going to do is we're going to program to safety edge 1, so you're listening for 1 beep. When you're programming to safety edge 2, you're going to listen for 2 beeps. So let's do, so there's 1 beep. What you want to do is you want to come over to safety edge 1 and just press it once. And if you notice now, you hear the relays click. And then what we want to do is you want to go back in, and let's go through this really quick. Press, so dip switch is the same, press and keep press the programming button until you hear 1 beep. You release it on the receiver. Now you press and keep press the programming reset button on the transmitter relative to your input that you want to put on. So if you want to put safety edge 2 on 1, you can do that. It's you press it relative to which one you want. So if you want 2 on 1, you can. If you want 1 on 1, which is most common, then that's what you would do. And then you'd release. So let's go through and set up 2 on here. So again, hold the button down, listen for 2 beeps, let go. We're going to go to program 2. You hear 2 beeps, you let it go. Now, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's as simple as that. You have 2 functioning safety edges. So, again, frequency is the same on the dip switch. Press and keep pressed the receiver red button until you hear 1 beep. Release it. Press and keep pressed your transmitter buttons relative to which safety edge you want to hear the confirmation from the receiver, and then release. If you need and have accidentally made a mistake, you can go to the last page, page 10, and you can do a quick reset. Basically, you press and keep press the programming button. You hear one beep again. Do not let it go. Basically, you just do not let it go to the end. You hear your second beep like you're programming it, then you hear a series of beeps, and then you'll hear a continuous flatline beep. And then what you're going to do is you're going to release it, and then you'll hear 6 beeps confirming that it is done. So let's go ahead and do that. There's your flat line. You let it go. There's your clear memory. Now, as you notice, nothing works. So just a quick, let's program it really quick and show you. So, 1 beep. Confirmed it. We'll do it again for 2. Program it in 2. And both are programmed. It's that simple. Can't be any simpler. And then what you want to do is you want to now connect your operator to your operator. Your safety edges are working. Look on your diagram based on the examples. We did this particular one. So common, normally open, common, normally open. But feel free and use any of the examples that you'd like. They're all in here. They all give you reference to what you need to do. If you have any questions, feel free and give Transmitter Solutions a call, and have a good day. Thank you.